Hi, I'm Joe Welinske, Program Manager for ConveyUX. That's the annual Seattle User Experience Conference coming up February 28, March 1, and March 2. And I'm speaking with another one of our many experienced speakers who will be at the event in Seattle. Today I'm speaking with JD Buckley from my home office. Hello, JD. Where are you speaking to us from today?
I am talking to you guys from Pasadena, California.
Well, you work for ADP. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and your company and the nature of the work that you're involved in?
ADP is a 65-year-old company. You may have been familiar with ADP if you've ever looked at your paycheck. ADP is famous as the payroll company. We work in a small division of ADP called compliance. So we deal with everything from affordable care to compliance for taxes and tax credits and wage garnishment. So it's a very specialized area where we're reaching out to specialists as payroll practitioners and a lot of people who are in the background doing a lot of the really intense, detailed work to help people get paid correctly and on time. I'm also I've been here not quite a year, or actually just a little over a year. Our whole team is new. UX is very, very new to ADP, only in the last 3 years, and this team has only been in the Pasadena office. They actually built this Pasadena Innovation Center for folks like us to rethink and reimagine ADP's compliance products. I'm also an instructor at Art Center College of Design. I've been doing UX research for, I'm afraid to say this, almost 17 years now. I've done everything from interaction design to product management to research. I love what I do. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. It fascinates me and intellectually challenges me every day. And I'm a big runner. I run every morning, about 13 miles, and I spend a lot of my time tackling in my brain complicated research methods while I'm sweating away.
Well, it sounds like an interesting way to keep yourself occupied while you're enjoying your workouts. Your session is one of the ones that is part of our enterprise interest area, and so yeah, I think a lot of what we talk about on a regular basis is dominated by things going on in the consumer space, but we do offer a series of sessions specifically about UX in enterprise land, and your session fits right in with that. The title is Tales of Developing a UX ROI in Enterprise Land. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you came around to this presentation and what people can expect to learn from it.
Well, I think what's really exciting is that you hear a lot of talk right now that UX is becoming more evolved and more mature across all kinds of companies. It's really still fairly nascent in enterprise or IT products. One of the things that has become very real for people in enterprise is they've spent the money, they've brought in this UX profession, which they're only vaguely clear what it does. And one of the things teams in enterprise worlds are struggling with is how do we show the return on investment for investing in a profession and a skill that executives know they should have but aren't necessarily 100% clear what we do. So one of the things that was very unfamiliar to people at ADP was all the steps involved in benchmarking or baselining a product before they redesign. Everyone was very enthusiastic about redesigning a product, but they had never thought about clear things like goals and objectives, success metrics, or KPIs. That language, which is very familiar now at the consumer level, was really unfamiliar in the enterprise world. People kind of, historically for enterprise products, people have kind of built to the largest client or the most vocal client. For this project, we really wanted to focus on how do we baseline what our current experience is before we launch the new one, and then how do we take all of those metrics in terms of what we offer as a team from our branding, our being aware, making the enterprise aware, the organization aware, what value we bring to the organization in terms of workshops and field research and collaborative sessions, really bringing that innovation and that new way of thinking about our users, introducing our users and greeting our users with the product and thinking about the product with them in mind for the first time, bringing developers out into the field. How do we take all of those skills that are part of our craft and then the benefits that we see from evolving or baselining a product, mix that up and shake it up and create a UX ROI where we're actually looking at what impact we've had on the product as well as what impact we've had on the organization. And it's been extremely fun and challenging to do that in an enterprise environment because you have so many more constraints than you do in a consumer environment where you have a website that generally, you can have as many users you can recruit. It's been, major challenges because of security with enterprise software that you don't face with consumer software. So really the whole project, the whole talk is going to be about the challenges, the fun, the learnings, what we found out about our community. Lots of people are talking about UX ROI. Very few people have a formula or have gone as far as we have, even in this enterprise setting, to develop that. And what that's been like internally for everybody to experience really how we're trying to baseline and really measure our products.
Well, that last part that you mentioned about a lot of people talking about it, but not always having a lot of the answers or a good plan, I think you're exactly right about that. So it'll be great to see your session. You also mentioned that the UX team is relatively new at ADP, and you've been building that up. And I was wondering, as the team is built up, as new people have come in, if you've noticed or been looking for any particular skills that are especially useful with the things that ADP does and or with respect to enterprise user experience development.
I would only say that the difference between, I've worked at lots of consumer-based companies, everything from medical to third-party auto, and I think what's different about enterprise is you really need to have the ability to sift through the details. The end users are very specialized. You can't necessarily dog food. We are not our users, and while that's true of every UX professional, it's especially true of enterprise because often our enterprise end users have very specialized skills and we're kind of required to get up to date with their skill set, whether it's watching a YouTube video on accounting or payroll practitioners or taxes. We've really all had to have the patience and the initiative to become a little bit like our end users. So having that desire, that patience, that initiative is what makes enterprise design and research so much more challenging and fun and intellectually stimulating.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. It sounds like that'll be an interesting added dimension to things that people can learn about from you at the conference, and we'll look forward to seeing you here in your visit to Seattle from Pasadena.
Well, thanks a lot, Joe. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot, JD.
Bye-bye.